The Cursed Princess. Episode 5. The King's Silence. The morning sun had barely touched the earth, but inside the great palace of Umaniora, the heat of unanswered questions sat heavier than the rising day. King Obediegwu sat on his carved wooden throne, eyes fixed on the courtyard beyond the pillars. His red cap tilted slightly, his coral beads resting motionless across his chest. His fingers curled around the lion-headed staff, but he made no movement, no word. The throne room was silent, not out of respect, but out of confusion. Even the drummers, whose duty it was to greet the sunrise, had held their hands back today. Something in the air told them, not today. A young boy servant knelt at the king's feet, still as a mortar. Across the room, the chief palace guard shifted, then cleared his throat quietly. "My king," he began, "the council awaits your word concerning the child." Still, Obediegwu said nothing. "My king," the guard tried again, "the people are beginning to murmur. They say—" "I know what they say," the king interrupted, his voice deep and sharp. "But do they know what I saw that night?" The servant boy's eyes lifted briefly before quickly lowering again. King Obediegwu rose from his throne slowly. His shadow fell across the floor, long and heavy. "Do they know," he continued, stepping toward the open courtyard, "that the moon refused to move when she was born? That the breeze stood still? That the gong I struck echoed without end?" The guard said nothing. Obediegwu turned to him. "I do not fear curses," he said, "but I fear what I do not understand. And that child, my daughter, she carries more than a name." The guard lowered his gaze. "What shall we tell the elders?" The king walked past him, heading toward the shrine behind the palace, a place only the king and his ancestors had ever stepped into. "Tell them," Obediegwu said without turning, "that I seek the voice of the dead, because only the dead can explain what the living have failed to." And with that, the king disappeared behind the sacred curtain of palm leaves. The silence returned, but this time it was not empty. It was waiting.